nice place when we arrived. Sun was out, folks were going about their business, and for once, no dead bodies in sight. It was all crap, of course. As soon as they caught sight of us, things went to hell. Everybody in this place appears to be infected. The same glassy eyes, jumpy movements, and a real fondness for knives. A few look like the worms inside them have had time to mature, some of them getting so large they're erupting from the victims' mouths. We managed to get out of sight for a few minutes and come up with a plan. Don whipped up some of his favorite incendiary charges and gave one to each of us. This place seemed to be ground zero for the infestation, so we're gonna have to sterilize it. But not before doing a sweep to make sure we're not leaving anyone who hasn't been infected to burn. Henry needs to examine the source of the worms before we light the place up, so we'll need to tackle that at the same time, while trying not to get carved up by the locals. Or in other words, just another workday.
Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Stuart and we're back at my table to play yet again Fireteam Zero. This time we will be playing the second act of the second operation, which is the nursery. If you want to pause there, you can have a read of that, see what we need to do. There's the setup. If you saw the photo I posted a few days ago, you may notice that there is some differences here. The major difference being that yes, he's actually still alive. Yeah, I decided that. Well, let me give a little background. I've already played this through once, confession to make. I already played it through and it didn't end well. And I've got all the footage and I did start editing it and I just couldn't be asked to edit the rest for what basically is an absolute disaster. I'm not overly keen on playing with Don. This mission doesn't require Don, it does require the leader. So I decided to bring Shadow back from the dead. Let's just say he was gravely injured and he's managed to recuperate. The reason being is that both of these monsters we'll be facing in this mission, which is the consumed bait bag, which is a newer one, and the bait bag, which we remember from the last one, they both do brawl attacks. And where do we have that? Yeah, and we can use parry for Shadow as a focus card, and it basically means he can, once per round, you can reduce the damage inflicted by a brawl attack to 0, which I think is going to be really handy in this. So just to let you know what's going on, I've already set up the board. I haven't drawn any cards yet. We've got the consumed bait bags here, we've got the normal bait bags here. We have 3 objectives to do. Let's see if I can get the... We've got find the source of the worms. This one means that we have to fulfill 2 criteria for that. You can see by the 2 ticks at the bottom. We have investigate the church bells, which is just one objective token to be placed on there. They're pretty self-explanatory. This one takes a little bit more explanation, so let's just let's take a closer look at that. Purge the town. So there's no objective token to place on there. By the way, both of those previous ones I just mentioned, both of those, when they're accomplished, you can flip the lucky coin face up. You can see that by the icon at the bottom there. So this one, what does it mean for us? Well, you can pause it there so you can have a proper read. But essentially, we have these tokens. And as an action, any character may place one of these tokens in a sector, wherever they are in the sector. To complete that objective, purge the town, we have to have one of these tokens in each of the sectors. Now, there's a balance in doing this, because we could immediately start and, you know, first turn we could lay a fire token down wherever we are. However, what we have to remember is that every time the threat track reaches a point where a new threat card or a twist card is drawn, any adjacent sector that doesn't have a fire token in it or an incendiary device will get one. Now, the bad thing about that is it doesn't affect the monsters, but if any of our heroes start a turn in a sector with a fire token, then they take 1 automatic brawl dice damage, if you like. So we roll a brawl die, or we roll a die, and any damage as a brawl, we get to take that. So you can see there's a balance there. How much do we leave it before we start dropping these off? Ideally, we want to drop them off as we leave a sector and we've completely explored it. Then maybe we can drop one off. But if it's too near the start of the game, then the next time there's a twist card drawn, it's going to, you know, it's going to expand out into the rest of the board. At the same time, we don't want to leave it too late, because then if we get near the end of the game and we're somewhere, say for example we're over where the exit is, which is here, then we've somehow got to get back to here and put tokens in every sector. So we'll see how that goes. Like I say, the last play I did of this was an absolute disaster. I may condense that into a quick 35-minute video just to upload it, but it's a lot of work for what is essentially a complete and utter disaster. So I haven't drawn any cards yet. I'll draw the cards. I'll populate the board with the monsters, spawn the monsters, and then we'll be back to start the first turn. So turn 1, just for a change, I think we will start with Frank. We'll make him the first player. We normally make Abe or Maxi the first player, but for a change we'll go with Frank. And Frank is going to attack this consume bait bag here. What can he do with that? He's definitely going to use this one. Let's just put that down there so you can see what's happening exactly. He's definitely going to use this one, the sniper scope. So he'll use that, and I think he'll use this one here, which is a 4. That gives us 6 dice with 2 confirmed hits. We actually need, because of Frank's Deadeye ability, we can reduce resistance by 1. So instead of 9, we will need 8 to hit. But what we'll do is, Abe's in range. Abe will play this. Play before an ally performs an attack to reduce the target's resistance to that attack to 0. So Abe's going to play that, which basically means that the consume bait bag will have no resistance against these bullets. So we only need 6 hits to kill him. So using 6 dice, we've got 2 definite hits. I actually don't think we need 6 dice. Let's get rid of that one. Let's use this one instead. So 5 dice, and we only need to get 6 hits, and we've already got 2 definite. So let's go to the dice tray and see how that works out for us. Okay, so as I said, here we are. 5 dice. We're looking for 6 hits. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 2 definite hits from the card. That gives us 8 hits. So that's good. So this guy is dead. And I think Frank will move into here. It's difficult terrain, so it takes both his actions to move into there. We're in range of Patrick, so we will flip this search token that way and see what we get. Booby trap. That doesn't sound good. You see a nearby creature begin to charge towards you, only to be engulfed by a fountain of debris. The sound of the explosion punches you in the face, in the chest, and rocks you back on your heels. Roll 1 attack die and apply any bomb damage to the nearest minion or elite. Okay, that's one of those cards that doesn't seem good when you first read it, but it actually is okay. So we need to roll 1 attack die. Let's see what happens there. And we didn't roll any bomb damage at all. I need to sort out the dice tray. I don't seem to be rolling very well. But anyway, we'll live with that. So nothing happens there. That's Abe's turn finished because it took him 2 movements to get into here. So let's move on to Shad. Shad is going to go to... I think Shad will go... we can't get into here because it's 1, 2, 3 spaces. That'd be good if we could. But what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2. We'll take Patrick with us. And we'll flip this over for a free action. Let's see what we get for here. Second search underway. Dr. Hassler. You find the town doctor in his office eating an entire raw pig. His stomach swollen, he seems dazed and answers questions only in grunts and shrugs. While he eats, you pull him away from the pig and he goes berserk. There's nothing human left of the good doctor. As he charges, you spot a greasy notebook sticking out of his shirt pocket. You are ambushed by a consumed bait bag. Place an intel token on the objective. Find the source of the worm, so we place one intel token on that objective. Let's grab an intel token. Let's place it on there. So we've actually got one intel token on that objective now. There's one more to find to complete that. So we take one of these, the one that we killed before from the spawn pool, and it means that it will attack Shad as an ambush, no reactions. He will attack with 3 dice. So let's see what happens. 3 dice, and well, no hits whatsoever. Now, if you remember, we've got parry for Shad. Once per round, you may reduce the damage inflicted on you by a brawl attack to 0. So I wouldn't have taken any damage anyway, but I still rolled it because, and I didn't think that would happen, because we haven't actually used that ability, because we never took any hits. If I had just said, okay, I'm not going to roll it, we'll just assume we use that ability, that would have stopped me using it later in the round. So it didn't roll any hits at all, so we've not needed to use that ability, so we're good. We can use it later on in the round. Okay, moving swiftly on. That brings us to... Well, Shad hasn't actually had his action yet, has he? So he can actually... Shall I say actually one more time, just for the sake of it? So he can attack this guy. Now, he'll need to get 8 hits, no reroll. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think if we take this one, which is, so it means we only need to get 6 hits, and then if we take these 2 as well, so we're going to roll 8 dice, and we need to get 8 hits. We've already got 2 automatic, so basically we only need 6 hits on 8 dice. Let's give that a go. To the dice tray. All 8 dice, I'll roll 4 at a time, and we're looking for 6 hits. We've got 1, 2, 3 so far. That one doesn't count. Oh, we've got 4. We've got 5. We need 1 more. 6. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got the 6 hit we needed. So this guy is dead. That is the end of Shadrow's turn. So let's move on to Abe. He's only got 4 cards because we used 1 as a reaction before. I think for Abe, what we'll do is we will just bring him here. The reason being that this is bringing Henry with him, and that leaves Henry in range of both Shad and Frank. So it means they can do a reroll. So I think that's the safest thing to do. Nothing else really we can do there. So that brings us to the end of the hero turn. And we will move straight on to the threat phase. So let's move on to the threat phase. The first thing we do, as per usual, is move the threat tracker along 1 space. Then our monsters will move and attack. Let's do the minions first, as per normal. So we've got this minion first. I think he'll go towards Frank. Frank is the first player anyway. and he's only diagonally moving 1, 2, 1, 2. He's 2 spaces away from both Frank and Abe, but Frank was the first player, so he'll go 1. As soon as he gets there, Frank is going to take a shot at him, I think. And I think he will take a shot with... is there anything Abe can do to help him? We need to get 6 for a bait bag. Oh, for a bait bag we only need 2, 4. We only need 3 hits. So Frank is going to play. He's going to play this card. It's a bullet attack of 4, range 1. Because of Frank's focus ability, it actually only needs to get 3 hits for that. It would normally be 2 hits plus 2 resistance, but we reduce resistance by 1, so we only need, that's 1 resistance, so 3 hits. So 4 dice, 3 hits, and a reroll. I think we can do that. There's 2 hits, and there's 1 more hit. So it was pretty close. We would have got a reroll, so maybe not that close. So this guy is dead before he even gets to where he's going. Let's do this one. We'll go 1, 2, and we'll roll the activation die. That is not the activation die, sorry. We roll the activation die, and it means he moves 1 more space. So he'll move into here. And he will attack Shad. He'll attack with 2 dice. So let's just do that. There's nothing else we can really do to help. I want to keep those cards with the tactical response that Shad's got. So basically we roll the dice. It would have been 1-2 damage, but due to the focus ability that Shad's got, once per round you may reduce the damage inflicted on you by a brawl attack to 0. So we'll just reduce that to 0. Now, because of the other focus ability, after any monster attacks you, you may perform an attack action against that monster as a reaction. I'm not sure if it's worth doing that or not. I don't think it is. We've got bullets. We could do. We've got a bullet attack, and then has Abe got anything to help him? Let's have a quick look. No, not really. So I think we'll just leave that as it is for the time being. We won't bother doing any more attacks. That leaves this guy here. He'll go 1, he'll go 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. He'll actually go towards Shad. So we roll the activation die. He will move 1 more time. So he'll move here. He's going towards Shad as well, because he was the nearest. Actually, no, they're both the nearest. The next one would be actually, tell a lie, yeah, Shad, because Shad is he's the second player to go, so it'd be Shad before Abe, so he'd move there. And then we'll move on to the elites last. So they'll go 1, and 1 more space, 2, and nothing. And then we just roll to respawn the 2 monsters that we'd already killed. So we roll for the minion first. It's going to be a 3. 3 is over here. And we'll roll for the elite, which is a 2. And the 2 is... Where's the 2? And the 2 is here. Not ideal. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first turn. We've got 1 objective, or part of 1 objective already complete, so we'll move straight on to turn 2 after this, probably the next video. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think.